Welcome to Bracket Wars on UWW-TV. I'm Tegan Carter, and I'm joined by our debaters, Logan Waller and John Villarreal. For the next 15 minutes, we'll present our bracket for our picks based on the 2023 Oscar nominees for the Best Animated Short Film. The way it works, debaters debate our picks based on our experiences, facts, and research to determine the champion of the bracket. Spoilers will be ahead, and with that, you have been warned. Let's look at today's picks. Now we will jump to the first round of the semifinals. Take it away, John and Logan.
All right, so my first pick is The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, directed by Peter Baton and Charlie Mackesy. The sketch animation style is beautiful. It looks like a watercolor painting. It has an amazing story about friendship and having hope, while also having a relaxing, soothing soundtrack and score to go with it, with the nature sounds. And I would like to mention it did win the Oscar for the Best Animated Short Film in 2023. And it's also based on Mackesy's book of the same name.
And I think that Oscar win is warranted, but Logan, I'll still let you make your piece, so go ahead.
All right, I'm going with Ice Merchants, directed and composed by Joe Gonzalez. Now, you have this, it almost looks like it was pencil drawn, which to me is more interesting than anything by itself, by the use of the colors and just, the light shading. It's not very intense, but it still captures your attention. And you have these different scenes set up, like the house that's attached to the side of an ice cliff. No, there may not be any dialogue, but you take a scene like that and throw in some sound effects, like the tension on the ropes, all these different elements that come together that, with no dialogue, still capture the entire movie and making it interesting.
They did a decent job with making it interesting and keeping no words in it. But John, I'll let you debate him.
As interesting as it may seem having no sound to it, it looked like I was just watching a 14-minute long Red Bull commercial. I wasn't invested in, it was good, but it wasn't as good as The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, where you have an amazing cast, for example, Idris Elba.
You mean his 2 lines?
Oh no, more than 2 lines. And you know what? Every line was like a metaphor that relates. It can relate to an adult, and it can relate to a child.
Yeah, but Ice Merchants didn't even need dialogue to tell a story about loss, or however you want to interpret the story, and had no lines. All it had was sound effects and some music.
Yeah, you may experience loss with that, but you know what you experience with The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse?
Boredom.
Friendship.
And as much as I prefer friendship over long Red Bull commercials, I'm being told that the winner is Ice Merchants, directed by Joe Gonzalez, and that will move on to the next round.
As it should.
Anyway, My Year of Dicks, directed by Sarah Gunnersdottir, is my next pick. You have that quirky awkwardness that comes with the 15-year-old trying to lose their virginity, which most of us can relate to. You have the different abstract animation styles, whether it be jumping from anime like Japanese anime to just conventional regular animation. You have the punk, metal, and bright music involved into it, which it's wonderful. It's based on the book by Pamela Ribon called Notes to Boys and Other Things I Shouldn't Share in Public, a mortifying memoir. And if that's what it's based on, then, oh gosh, I need to read the book.
I think she should have kept it private. Logan, how about your turn?
All right, my pick is going to be An Ostrich Told Me the World is Fake, and I Think I Believe It, directed by Lachlan Pendragon. Now, talk about a title in of itself. Now, you have this claymation stop-motion film that it feels like you're behind the scenes, but you're also watching the movie. You're watching the entire plot take place, but you're still seeing the background, the movements, all these different elements that go into claymation that just make it that much more interesting. And let's just talk about the story itself. It's an ostrich convinces a guy the world isn't real and breaks the fourth wall. What's not interesting about it? And let's just take a second to talk about how it doesn't make you cringe just to say the title of the movie. Now, I will also say it did have 1 win and 5 nominations at the Oscars, so it does also have that to its back. And honestly, we can talk about the soundtrack too, but
But we're not going to talk about the soundtrack. We're going to continue talking about a trendy, overused, saturated market of claymation with a very, very, very bad title. All right.
Because My Year at Dick's is so much better.
I knew you were going to say that, but you know what? My Year of Dick's is better because it actually kind of relates, to a central part of the story, which, the ostrich, that whole entire title, basically sums up the whole entire story.
I mean, if you're sitting down looking at the two titles by themselves, not taking the story into consideration, just the titles, I feel like mine just automatically wins. It doesn't, you don't give it a weird look, but not like that.
It wins by telling you the whole entire plot. And what was the ending? It was a commercial. It was
Which I felt like was
commercial.
comedic genius.
Oh, they can write better stuff on Robot Chicken than this. Like, why would you want to sit there and watch a very oversaturated thing? Then you can just read the title and get it over with.
Watch a movie about losing virginity.
I mean, I think that claymation is awful, so I am going with My Year of Dicks, even though I also did not like that one, but Sarah Gunner's Daughter, you at least didn't use claymation, so thanks for that. We've the championship bracket coming up on Bracket Wars on UWW-TV. We'll be right back.
The Royal Purple, the best place for all the latest news around the community and campus of UW-Whitewater. Here you'll find all different types of weekly news stories, including sports, arts and rec, biz and tech, and even fun and interesting things like trendsetter columns and the tweet of the week. The Royal Purple has a full staff to handle all of your advertising and article needs. Ad managers and sales representatives can help you get your ad in seasonal print issues online at royalpurplenews.com and out on our social media platforms. Editors and journalists would love to write features about your organization and follow-ups about your important events. For more information on student employment opportunities, advertisement services, or anything news, contact the Royal Purple over at R@uww.edu or give us a call at 262-472-5100. Stop by our office and say hi on campus in McCutcheon Hall, room 113. For all of your local campus community news, check out the Royal Purple here at University of Wisconsin-Whitewater.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Bracket Wars on UWW-TV. I'm Tegan Carter and I'm joined by our debaters Logan Waller and John Villarreal. Let's take a look at the bracket results. Now back to John and Logan with the championship round.
All right, we're gonna go with this one. It's beautiful. My Year of Dicks by Sarah Gunner's Daughter. The impact of the whole entire plot, which is guy best friend Sam, and he's the jealous friend, and he cares for Pam, which you see throughout. And you may have experienced it too. Maybe not. I'm not 100% sure. We all go through different things. But you know what we all go through? Emotional character development. Pam had to go through emotional character development. And you know what? It happens to all of us. And I think they do a good job capturing that awkward, 15-year-old American Pie-esque sort of phases that most of us go through.
I mean, maybe for you, but I'd rather hear from Logan right now.
All right, now I'm gonna stick to my guns and go with something that doesn't make me cringe to say. The Ice Merchants, a nice kids movie. Now,
Kids movie.
it takes on different aspects. Like, you have this avalanche at the end, which could, if you really want to be technical, it could symbolize like global warming and other issues that we face. Another realistic, aspect to it is the father-son relationship. With their mother gone and everything, the relationship they make, it's relatable to people with their own parents.
I have a few words to say about the ice merchants. Red Bull gives you wings, because again, it's just a Red Bull commercial. That's how I feel about this whole entire. And again, you have good points, but my points are just better.
Like, how hard do you cringe watching this entire movie? Pretty solid, right?
Pretty solid, especially when you're seeing a relatable story mixed with different styles of animation instead of watching a long Red Bull commercial.
If it's relatable, I already lived through it once, and I'd rather not live through it again. It was awkward enough the first time.
It wasn't even relatable, but apparently it says that the winner is My Year of Dicks by Sarah Gunner's daughter. So here's the results. Back to John and Logan on why it's their number one.
Again, it's not for everyone.
Obviously.
It is, yes, obviously, it's not for everyone. But a good majority of people, it relates to teenage years. And it doesn't
When
even
was
have to
the
be this.
last time that you were a 15-year-old girl?
When was the last time I was a 15-year-old girl? Literally, pick and choose.
You've had a year of dicks?
I live with one for 24 years so far. But again, it's the whole aspect of, 15-year-old stupidity. And I was a stupid 15-year-old.
I mean, I guess that is at least relatable. And that will do it for this episode of Bracket Wars on UWW-TV. We'll be back to talk about our next topic, the Grammy winners for Album of the Year from each of the last 4 years. So we'll see you then.